Close your eyes. Imagine I put three things in front of you. First, a 2x2 Lego brick. Blue, I guess, if it needs to be a color. I put an 8.5-inch piece of string. And thirdly, I put a circular foam disc about 2 inches wide. All right, got those three objects in your mind? All right, now, let me ask you this. Which one of those is a Lego? Is it the 2x2 brick, the piece of string, or the foam disc? You're asking, what, you think I'm stupid or something? Because obviously it's the brick, the Lego brick. I've seen Lego. Ooh, nope, stupid. The answer is all three. No, I'm serious. You can find all three of those in Lego sets. The brick, obviously, but the string comes in an ornament set, and the foam in an old Mindstorm set. Actually, you see all sorts of non-Lego Legos in sets. Big cloth pieces, 7-volt batteries, pieces of cardboard. Obviously, no one's going to look at a 7-volt battery and say, that's a Lego. But it's a really interesting thought experiment. Because even though the Lego brick as we know it was patented 68 years ago, tens of thousands of unique pieces later, there's still no strict guideline as to what a Lego is. And as a human, that really sucks. Humans really like guidelines. I really like guidelines. I like things to be black or white. That gray, murky area of uncertainty makes me really uncomfortable. So, today, I'm setting out to learn just what a Lego is. And it turns out, Lego itself is asking that same question. In 2025, they released the first official 3D printed part in a Lego set. It's this little blue train, and that little blue train, I'll be honest, sent me spiraling. So join me on this journey of self-discovery, confusion, and incredulity as I try to answer the question that has been on philosophers' lips since the beginning of time. I'm Eric Crittenden, and this is Clutch Power, a show about the ways we love Lego. Episode 9. What even is a Lego? In part 1, a bit of a history lesson and an interview with Darian from the Plop, a 3D printing YouTube channel that's really testing the bounds of my question. Then I'm going to go solo in a bonus segment for Patreon supporters only. I'll take you through some of my favorite and some of the weirdest non-Lego Lego pieces that I could find. It is a real trip, and it turns out Lego has been bending the rules pretty much since the beginning. And in part 2, Darian and I talk about the future of 3D printing. This tech has really popped off in the last 10 years, and it's fascinating to hear his perspective on where he thinks we'll be in another 10. So to everyone with OCD like me who doesn't know where to fit your loose Lego strings or 7-volt batteries within your collection, welcome. This is a safe space. Let's get to work. Part 1. Heretics and the all-holy Lego system. So to try to answer this question, what is a Lego? Let's start simple. We can all agree on this, that 2x2 Lego brick, the one I brought up at the beginning, that is a Lego. So let's examine it. It's made out of something called ABS, a type of plastic. Okay, so is a Lego piece something only made from ABS? Well, no, because the original Lego bricks, the ones that came out in the 50s, were made of a different plastic, cellulose acetate. Okay, well, what about the connectivity? The stud and tube system is on all standard Lego bricks. What if we say only pieces with studs or tubes are Lego? Okay, that's better, but then what about, bars? Lego makes these little bars. They're used a lot for, lightsaber blades. No stud, no tube, some third other thing. Okay. Well, let's look at the very definition of the Lego system from Lego's website. Quote, all elements fit together, can be used in multiple ways, can be built together. This means that bricks bought years ago will fit perfectly with bricks bought in the future. So it's pieces that connect to other pieces. But then what about paper craft? LEGO released a hole punch in Japan that perfectly punches out a hole the exact size of a stud. Therefore, theoretically, any piece of paper can be a LEGO. A tortilla could be a LEGO because they fit within the LEGO system. Or what about the LEGO Adidas shoes that you can build on? Or the Levi's pants with the 6x6 plates on them? Are jeans LEGO? Am I LEGO? I'm not LEGO. I'm pretty sure. But let's back up a bit. Or a lot. Back to 1954. The founder of LEGO as we know it was a guy called Gottfried Kirk Christensen. He was looking for the next big toy his company could make. He stopped by a toy exhibition in Britain, and it was just a hodgepodge of incongruity. You would have building blocks that didn't fit with each other, doll houses that were wildly different sizes, trains that can't fit on tracks. It was a mess. And then, apocryphally, Gottfried runs into this toy exec who says this.
Darn this industry. I just think that toys are no good nowadays.
What do you mean? I think they're working very well.
Oh, they work fine, sure, but there's no system in anything.
System? System? There isn't any system.
What in the world are you doing, Gottfried?
There isn't any system. The toys need an idea and a system built around it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Score one for the OCD boys. Me and Gottfried, we're hanging out. Okay, sorry. By the late 50s, LEGO started to release their first sets in the way we know them today. And man, these sets were simple, just those big bricks, long before the days of hinges or clips or even plates. Except, what is that? Zoom in? More? A little more. Is that a tree? Is that a standalone tree with no connection points whatsoever? That's just a plastic tree with no connection point. What do I do with that? From the literal first sets where the LEGO system should have been at its most pure, we were already seeing heresy. I can't do this alone. I am enlisting some help. Darian runs a YouTube channel called the Plop. He's really carved out a niche for himself, mostly 3D printing videos, but without being too educational or complicated. No, his videos are clean, they're entertaining. This guy has the YouTube juice. About a year ago, he released a video called Lego, but it's not plastic. He looked at Lego bricks made from candy, waffles, snow, wood, foam, concrete. So if anyone could tell me about what a Lego is, I was hoping it'd be him. I want to talk a bit about one video of yours in particular, which is where you made Legos out of, I guess, non-Lego stuff.
Yeah, that's my claim to fame right now. That's the biggest video on my channel so far.
Yeah, so where did that idea come from?
The whole, kind of formation of my channel stopped being mainly Minecraft and, blocks, but just me crafting. And, even now, I just love making stuff and figuring that out. So I wanted to take me crafting and making stuff and take Lego, because, all the creators in the Lego space, their whole thing was, they just build with Legos and make stuff. But I'm not in the Lego space, so I can take my new ideas and just smash them together. So that's why, I thought about making Legos out of concrete, buying wooden Legos, seeing, all the different types of stuff you could do.
What were some of the most solid materials you built of? And then what were some of the worst ones from that video?
Concrete was a mix of both, because I had to wear a mask when I did it, because apparently you can get diseases or something. I don't even know. I also did it on New Year's Eve, and it was 30 degrees or less. So I was freezing the whole time making them. But they came out so cool, and no one's done them after that. The wooden ones were super cool. Those are very solid. Gosh, now I can 3D print Legos. That wasn't in the video, but I've 3D printed sharp Legos before, and those are super sick. The candy ones, they're kind of mid, but you get a bunch of them so you can build big things, and it's fire.
Yeah. Well, the gummies were rough, because those didn't have any structure at all.
And you don't really get that many of them unless you want to spend $100, but I'd rather not. The concrete Legos were actually the cheapest. Because it was $5 for a huge bag, and then you mix it with water and you just put them in molds. So yeah, no, it was fun. That was a good video.
So now you're 3D printing Legos.
Yeah, I've been getting into 3D printing Legos a lot more because you can make them as big as you want, as small as you want. You can make custom Legos. The ones that I had made had like pointed tips. I had that in a video called Cursed 3D Prints. Those actually hurt. Like if you step on them, you're bleeding. There's no, yeah. So I started doing that.
Yeah. So, kind of the framework of this conversation that I'd like to have with you is trying to figure out what exactly is Lego. Because it could be really anything, and I think you're in a very interesting space where you're kind of blurring that line. Because, you know, when I say Lego brick, you think of the little plastic thing. But there's other things that come in Lego sets. There's cloth, rubber bands. So I'm just, from your perspective, kind of what is Lego?
What's interesting before I even get into the main question is I can 3D print out of ABS plastic, which is what Lego uses. So, you know, that also, like if I can make my own files for Legos, you might not even be able to tell the difference between mine and a Lego brick.
Yeah.
Not that I want to get sued, but
you're not going to do that for the record, but
yeah. That's just a hypothesis, but
with 3D printing, can you like even approach Lego quality?
I can try.
Yeah.
I can try. Yeah. I think printing in ABS is definitely, like, I've never done that before. I don't know how hard it would be, but it's completely doable. And even if you don't do that, you can make custom pieces that fit right on Legos. You know, like they have the Lego stud bottom and everything, and you probably wouldn't even know. So yeah, there is that too. You can make them a lot custom.
Does that wind up being cheaper to print it yourself?
100%.
Really?
Not even close. Yeah. I could probably buy a roll of plastic and print hundreds of bricks.
Yeah. How much is a roll of plastic?
$20.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep. So let's see. If an average brick is about 10 cents.
Yeah.
So 10 bricks is $1. And then $20
200,
is
right?
200 bricks. Yeah, you could easily print like 1,000 bricks.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do like a roll of plastic, and you can choose any colors you want. And the only thing is you need time. You know, the printer's got to print everything. So that's the only downfall.
Yeah. Do you think 3D printing already is creating bricks for those spaces, or do you think it will in the future?
3D printing creating bricks. Are you saying that Lego's using that, or are you saying that
like,
people
like
can?
knockoffs of Lego?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, they're already definitely doing it. 3D printers are so quality nowadays. If they wanted to make Legos, they straight up can. It's, yeah, no debate. People are using it.
So Legos, the 3D printed piece they included, like it's not ABS plastic.
Really? What did they?
It doesn't look. You might be able to tell more than me. It doesn't look like a Lego.
Is it meant to look kind of like squishy?
I don't think so. Like it doesn't look great.
Yeah, it kind of looks molded.
Yeah, like it's rough, especially for Lego.
It's intentional though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, because like my 3D prints look super sharp, and I don't have to do anything to them. Once they print, it's done.
Yeah, I believe the wheels on it turn. So I wonder, would that have anything to do with the way it looks?
No, not at all.
So why
that
why
is
would they
cool.
do that? Why do you think they would print it to look like that? Like to have that texture?
I don't know, but it's intentional.
Yeah, that's really weird. Yeah. I just thought that was the 3D printed look.
No, yeah, 3D printing, it looks so sharp, and I don't have to do any sanding, none of that. A lot of it just pops straight out the printer.
Well, with all that, then I guess kind of back to the first question, what is a Lego?
There's been a lot of Lego copycats, or people that want to get the sauce that Lego's got, like Mega Bloks or any of the Temu ones. But Lego has been so high quality. Like their quality level compared to other brands is they blow everything out the water. I think that's what makes Lego so really high quality, like aggressive control. Lego's always been known for that. Innovation is another thing Lego's been really strong at. Like having the cloth, having the features, the printing and stuff. That is Lego. Like they're known to innovate. And then just the collaborations and the quality of the collaborations that they do is phenomenal. Like the One Piece one that they just did. I just built the Going Merry, like the pirate ship from it, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah. So what you're saying is if it's included in a set because of the quality, it's a Lego, regardless of what material it is.
I mean, do you think Legos are just plastic bricks?
That's the thing. I don't know. That's a tough question because I think the line is blurred, and I feel like it's getting more blurred. Like,
I feel like it's intentional blur.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel like Lego wants to be more than just plastic bricks. Yeah, because you can create stuff that's so much more interesting with that. And it's innovative. With only plastic bricks, they're kind of missing out on that whole other side of it, which they've been pursuing actively with the rubber bands, with capes, this and that. I think if it's an official Lego piece, I call it Lego.
yeah, just straight up.
Yep, straight up, because that's like super solid innovation. That's what keeps them cutting edge.
Yeah. Maybe the thing that is a Lego is not the piece itself, but it's the quality. Because they're not going to put out a bad piece.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I always return to Lego. You don't see me buying Mega Blocks, even if they work with a cool company. I'm not interested because Lego is just so, they're so consistent.
Yeah. I'm thinking it came out only in Japan. There was a hole punch, and it punched holes in paper that were the perfect Lego stud. And it was an official Lego product.
Yeah, I brainstormed that for a video before.
Yeah. So does that mean paper is Lego? Since it's now kind of part of the system.
I think Lego, the hole puncher, making it Lego, I mean, it kind of just allows for custom.
Yeah.
The paper's not Lego. I don't know. If it's made by Lego, I think it is. If Lego makes a hole puncher for it, I think it just like expands it. It's kind of like DLC.
But the paper itself is not Lego.
Yeah, no. It's kind of like if I made custom stickers on Photoshop and then put it on like a piece.
That's
like it's not
official.
Lego, but it's cool.
Yeah.
What do you think Lego is? Is it just the company and what they make? Or is it like the idea of it?
I am a purist, so I think it's the company. There's a local flea market where I live that comes out every month, and there's a guy who has a giant stand of custom minifigs. And like they're completely like custom molds. I have one right here actually. I bought one because I thought it was funny. It's I don't know
cool.
if you can see that. It's a little Donkey Kong.
Oh, that's sick. That's high quality. That's cool.
It's really good, but like it's not an official Lego. And so for me, it's gotta come from Lego to be Lego.
I agree.
Yeah, in my own personal model building, I sometimes will like include tape or like stringer stuff, but like it's always Lego parts. So I feel like I have a very conservative outlook on that. But I don't know. Yeah, I was into Mega Bloks as a kid. Cause
I had a couple sets. Yeah, it was fun.
They were just covering themes that Lego didn't have at the time, like Pirates of the Caribbean. I was huge into it. So I had a bunch of those Mega Bloks.
Our biggest one was Halo.
Yes.
Halo had a ton of sets. Yeah, that was where like they got beat out. Yep.
Yeah, but like you could tell it's not the quality, and like they just feel worse.
Agreed.
Or even I just bought like a giant bulk bin of Lego for like $80, and I'm sorting through it, and there's a bunch of I think they're called Tycho bricks.
I think I recently heard of them.
Yeah, maybe it's recent.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like it wasn't Lego, and like there were like 200 of these Tycho pieces, and I just tossed them all because like the quality wasn't there, and like you could just or I could tell on site these are not Lego.
Yeah, you can literally just look at them and tell.
Yeah,
it's crazy how different the quality standards are.
Yeah, but then I'm also hearing, and I haven't dug into this too much, but like the quality in recent years is allegedly starting to fall. In the 90s, there were pieces that were like super brittle, like the original brown color was like infamous.
Brown pieces always have a bad rep.
Yeah, or dark red, or I'll find a split piece every now and again. But I hear recently, in some recent sets, like the quality is starting to go downhill. And so with that, and then, now we're seeing 3D parts in sets, or 3D printed parts in sets. I would say I'm cautious.
I think we're heading towards a big transition for Lego because I think they understand as a company, like they got to keep innovating and getting better and better. Otherwise, they're going to fall behind at some point. Even though it seems impossible for a company at that level of prestige, they need to keep innovating. Yeah.
And they're in a really good spot right now where like you said, the sets that are coming out are insane. Like,
Oh, they're killing it. Yeah.
Like they do not need to innovate, but I think the fact that they still are pushing boundaries is a good thing.
That's Lego. Yeah, it's such a, it feels like such an American company, like constant innovation, constant. They're like the Apple of building block toys.
Yeah.
You'll buy it because it's Lego, even if it's mid.
Yeah. But unlike Apple though, Lego I feel like is constantly pushing, whereas it feels like to me Apple's kind of
It's a little stale.
Every iPhone's kind of the same iPhone, right?
Yeah, it's getting dry.
But I will say, unlike, in the 90s, Lego was also innovating and experimenting and churning out weird stuff. I don't know if you know, like Galador, which was just like,
I have no
they're just
clue.
like action figures. Like they don't look like Lego.
Yeah, I've seen some weird pieces.
Yeah.
Especially from like early 90s. Yeah.
And so stuff like that, it was interesting, but they didn't have sort of the financial security to try that. Whereas now, every time they release a Star Wars set, it goes crazy. People buy it, it's sold out. So they can experiment with
The
their
market
stuff.
for Lego for reselling is insane.
Yes. Yeah.
Which shows that they got sauce. Like they're working good.
Yeah. I thought about this a lot since Darian and I chatted, and I think I've figured out what a Lego is. It's not when a piece is a brick. It's not when something comes in a set. No, I'm going to paraphrase Supreme Court Justice Potter Stewart here. I will not continue to try to define what a Lego is simply by the word Lego, and perhaps I could never succeed in intelligibly doing so. But I know a Lego when I see it. Looks like we're going to have to keep hanging out in that murky gray. At least until Lego decides to codify this stuff. I don't know. Okay, up next, for Patreon supporters only, I dive into the Bricklink catalog to check out some of the stranger pieces Lego has included in sets. I'm not going to try to convince you something's a Lego or something's not a Lego. I just want to share some weird stuff I found. For everyone else, on to part 2, the wonders and dangers of 3D printing, and where Darian thinks it'll all be in about 10 years. Part 2, printing the future. "3D printing as we know it really got popular in the 2010s, but it has a really fascinating history. Some sci-fi authors in the 40s and 50s even dreamt it up, like Murray Leinster in his 1945 short story. Check this out. I feed magnetronic plastics, the stuff they make houses and ships of nowadays, into this moving arm. It makes drawings in the air. Following drawings, it scans with photocells, but plastic comes out of the end of the drawing arm and hardens as it comes, following drawings only." Crazy, right? By the 80s, people were filing patents for 3D printing, but the materials being printed were still kind of all over the place. There was polymer that hardened under UV light, powdered metal, thermoplastics, and it was expensive, man. It was expensive. A 3D printer in the 80s cost around $300,000. And over the next few decades, 3D printing pretty much stayed within manufacturing and research until the internet. Yay! People started to come up with low-cost 3D printing tech, and they were distributing the 3D printing software for free. So in the mid-2010s, the cost for a 3D printer dropped even more until today, where you can get a decent printer for like $200. Imagine that. For $200 plus a few more dollars for the rolls of plastic you need to print with, you could print pretty much anything. How could that go badly?
Well, with 3D printing technology becoming so much more accessible, more young people are able to get their hands on what are called ghost guns. A young woman and college graduate in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And police say the killer's weapon of choice, a ghost gun.
It's called a ghost gun because it's untraceable. There's no serial number. Other than that, there's not much of a difference between a 3D printed gun and a regular one.
But that, admittedly, that's kind of the extreme. There are some other kind of dystopian ways 3D printers are getting used.
Starbucks is opening its first ever 3D printed restaurant next week in Texas.
100 homes finished faster than it would have taken to build conventionally.
A Westmoreland County company will now work with the Department of Defense. It's going to be able to develop a mobile 3D printer that can be deployed to military zones and even disaster relief sites.
And I'm not trying to say there's nothing good about 3D printing, because there is. There are some wild medical things happening. People can get stuff cheaper. And that creates a form of competition, which is healthy for the economy. And clearly, Darian is all in on 3D printing. So I wanted to ask him more about this construction that he's turned into a career. What initially attracted you to 3D printing?
I love crafting. I hated how much time it took. And so when I looked at 3D printing, there was nobody in there. Everybody was doing shorts. No one was doing long form. Like, there were no videos being created because it's a whole different skill set. So yeah, you can easily create a 3D printing short that gets a couple million views. That's the easy part. Long form, making a video that's actually interesting with a good personality behind it, that's not brain rot or just like an actually good video, there was nothing for. And everybody in 3D printing was technical. So I took the production side of YouTube and a fresh perspective that's not 3D printing, bought a 3D printer and just started making videos because I knew that there were people that were willing to watch it because the shorts were just exploding.
Yeah. Are there other big 3D printer YouTubers?
Nope.
Yeah. And like
me.
The ones sort of the second place and beyond are very technical, you said?
So I'm the only like entertainment style where it's like deep rooted in personality. Like I have my face cam in there. I have my own jokes. I custom put everything together. There are some other ones that are kind of like showcases of 3D prints, but the other ones are all technical. Like if you don't know what an extruder is or like different filament types and how to do mechanical stuff on a printer and how to fix it, you're not going to understand and like relate to any of their content. 3D printing is so technical, but the reason it's not mainstream is because no one's brought it there yet. Yeah. That's what I plan to do.
With 3D printing or not even just Lego, but just like future 3D prints, what are some things you want to pursue?
I want to take really, really broad topics and go into that. Things that are super interesting, like dangerous prints is one of my favorite videos to make, satisfying prints. I want to do a lot more broad topics. I also want to do very creative ideas that I know people are going to skip over. Thing is, with my channel, there's going to be so much competition, and there's going to be a competition by a lot of people that just want to make money. I am not in it for the money. I'm in it for the passion, and I want that to be known because it's like my ideas and my personality and how I make the videos is going to be the strong suits. My goal is to be the biggest 3D printing creator on the whole platform. I already am. I continue, and I plan to be. I want to make videos at the highest quality, at a good quantity so that people can constantly enjoy it and innovate and make ideas. Like eventually I want to get into making my own custom files and things that you can't find anywhere else. And really just providing the fans and the people that are interested in 3D printing, like the best experience.
Yeah. So with the quality and the innovation, you could say you're kind of the Lego of 3D printing YouTube.
100%. Yeah. Yep. I think 3D printing it's like really, really bougie Legos. It's like if you have thousands of dollars to spend, 3D printing is like the adult version of Lego.
Yeah, because you can just make whatever you want.
Oh yeah, anything.
Yeah. Yep. Do you do modeling right now?
I got into it a little bit, but I have no clue what I'm doing.
Yeah. How does that work? How do you model something that you can then print?
I use Bamboo Labs printers. Just because I really like them and it's what I started with. So they have a studio that you can do stuff in. You basically anything that is an engineering software. Fusion 360 is one of them. AutoCAD. There's a bunch of different softwares where you can put stuff together. So that's always, there's so many options. It's unlimited, which is why 3D printing is so cool because you can use whatever you want.
Are you already seeing people trying to like copycat you?
100%. I've literally, they don't get the same amount of views because their videos are not higher quality, but I've already had people within the second month of me doing this completely rip my blue line, green color and everything. Same style, same image. They didn't even try and they're just trying to jump on the wave.
Yeah.
But they'll never get as many views as me. And if they do, I'm going to work twice as hard.
So you've also done some sort of Lego specific videos. I'm thinking of like the rockets video, the train experiments.
It's funny because those are kind of the worst performing videos I've ever made in my life.
Yeah.
Because when they came out, they bombed instantly. And a lot of that is because my audience wasn't Lego. They really looked for custom things, and specifically with Minecraft. So this year, like, I've had the highest of highs I've ever had on YouTube by tenfold, but I've also had the lowest of lows you could ever get. So it's been a roller coaster, but that's kind of what it is to make content. You just got to put ideas out there, and sometimes you're going to get, crapped all over. With the rockets and the trains, I've had Lego YouTubers tell me, like, those were good videos. If they posted them, they'd probably get, 1 million views or more. But on my channel, it just didn't have the same hit. And that's why I ended up pivoting out of Lego, because I wasn't getting the view counts, and I also wasn't enjoying it nearly the same as much as like doing something else, like other games are eventually 3D printing.
And then, like, your last 5 videos have been all 3D printing, so like you've really found your niche.
Yeah, and they're all 1 out of 10s instantly, which is like, they're the top performing video of the whole channel every single time. So I'm excited. Yeah.
And I feel like with those videos, like, there's so much prep that goes into it, right? Like, how long does it take to print some of this stuff?
Depends on what you're printing. I've had prints that, altogether take 100 hours for it. I've had prints, most prints take between like 2 to 5 hours. For Lego bricks, I can bump those out in 16 minutes for 5 bricks. Yeah, if you laid a bunch of bricks on there, you could probably have all of them done within an hour and a half. Because these printers are so fast nowadays and they're so good. But it depends on how high quality, what material you do. You could easily have a project take like 10 hours. So yeah, the only thing with printing is time.
What are the kinds of plastics you print with?
Just PLA mainly, and this one PETG. And this is not even plastic, but I've started printing with TPU, which is just rubber. I recently made 3D printed Jordans. That's going to be in a video that's coming out in the next couple of days at this time. But those took 100 hours to print in total. I wore the shoes and everything. They're completely rubber. They don't break. Like, these are very difficult to destroy. So there's even more than just plastic.
3D printing is really, like, it kind of opens a conversation about sort of like an ethical question, where it's like, can you just print whatever? And like, why buy Jordans if you could just print Jordans for $20 that are about the same quality?
Well, rubber Jordans are very painful. You can't really print out of the cloth and the quality of that. It's really only plastic things. What's nice about 3D printing is you can print anything you want. If it's not out there for a file, you can create it yourself. And now AI is a thing, and you could probably AI a whole bunch of 3D printed stuff that helps you and does stuff for you. It's really, it's kind of like Lego on crack. That's how I view it. Because you can make anything you want, and it's endless, infinite ideas.
Yeah. What are some of the wildest things that you've seen 3D printed?
Anything you can think of that is rated R, that is not clean, it's been 3D printed.
Yeah, and that's now. So where do you see the future of 3D printing in like 10 years?
It will be one of the biggest things. Like, I don't even know if I can gauge how big it'll be. I got really blessed with when I started getting into 3D printing, because I kind of pioneered the production side of this niche, where it's like entertainment content for long form, because no one else was doing it before me. There were some people that kind of did, but not with a personality, not with like a real, like, entertainment edge. I go to conventions, they all have 3D printing companies that are there, that are, showing what they have. Everybody I show the simplest things from 3D printing, and they're amazed. They think it's the coolest thing ever. And this took an hour to print. I just downloaded it online. Yeah. So I think with how much exposure I'm giving 3D printing, and compound that over the next couple of years, and how much, printers are getting cheaper. You can get a 3D printer for $100 if you really wanted to. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it'll be huge.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on 3D printers? like them, hate them, or are you, somewhere in that murky gray area? I myself, kind of lukewarm on it. There's already so much plastic waste in the world, and I think the last thing we need is a bunch of people printing out an unlimited amount of stuff. Are there great things coming out of 3D printing? Absolutely. But 3D printing, combined with AI, feels like Pandora's box to me, and I'm cautious to put too much trust in things like that. The older I get, the more I appreciate, like the real and the tactile and the lasting. I'm tired of getting things that work once and then I have to throw them away. I'm tired of apartment complexes getting thrown up overnight because they're made with really cheap materials and will probably fall apart in the next few decades. And it's ironic, right? Because none of this plastic or cheap material stuff is really built to last, yet because it's made of plastic, it does. It lasts for hundreds of years sometimes, and that makes me feel, I don't know, kind of icky. I'm uncomfortable with the notion that I can download a file, print something out of plastic, and then that thing will stick around for 5 lifetimes. I think that's a negative. And I'm super pumped that Darian's found success in it, and I'm excited to see where he ends up, and I will definitely be keeping an eye on the 3D printing landscape. But again, I'm cautious because there is no such thing as a free lunch. But I still want to say a huge thank you for Darian for talking with me for this episode. His videos are so entertaining. They're really quick and snappy. And I said it before, this guy has the YouTuber juice, and he really knows how to use it. I asked him about how people can get into 3D printing, and he says there's a ton of great options for around $300, less than a gaming console. Print whatever you want. I'm not going to lie, despite what I just said, that is kind of tempting. Anyway, thank you for listening to this episode. What are your thoughts on LEGO starting to use 3D printing? And, most importantly, what do you think is a LEGO? If you're on YouTube, leave it down in the comments, or if you're listening to this somewhere else, shoot me an email, clutchpowerpod@gmail.com. I would love to read your takes. I really would. If you want to support the show, please share it by word of mouth. Tell a friend, tell your online LEGO buddies. And of course, following the podcast everywhere is a huge help. It is the same handle all over the place, clutchpower.pod. If you want to step up even more, become a patron. You'll get extra content for every episode, along with a digital LEGO mock I built specifically for this episode. For this one, you're going to get a 3D printer printing, you guessed it, a LEGO brick. So you can look at it and wonder, yeah, what is a LEGO? And then get freaked out and then not be able to sleep. You're welcome. That's a bad segue into the outro of the show, but that's life, baby. All right, have a good night and stay connected.